Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
Moving from 4 cameras down to 3 and from a 2K display to so-called super pixels, on the surface it really does look like Xiaomi took a step backward with its specs. And if someone wants to criticize Xiaomi, these are exactly the points they'll latch onto. But interestingly enough, what many people see as a downgrade is actually what I want to focus on when talking about the Xiaomi 17 Ultra: innovation. That's right. After spending about a week with the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, my overall impression is that this is a compact phone built around genuine innovation. A quick shout out to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our exciting tech content. One thing I'm still convinced of is just how difficult it is to implement continuous optical zoom on a smartphone. To help explain this, I even made a simplified sketch of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's telephoto lens structure. In this setup, Xiaomi uses independent second and third lens groups to achieve continuous optical zoom. The second group handles the zoom itself, while the third group takes care of focusing and optical compensation. The drawing may look simple, but in reality, achieving precise zoom and accurate focus requires an extremely complex and finely tuned optical system. So what exactly are the strengths of the Xiaomi 15 Ultra's telephoto setup? First of all, it clearly benefits from hardware. The 15 Ultra comes with 2 telephoto lenses, a floating telephoto equivalent to 70mm and a 200 megapixel periscope telephoto equivalent to 100mm. By comparison, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra uses a single 200 megapixel periscope telephoto lens with continuous optical zoom, starting at an equivalent 75mm. From 75mm all the way to 100mm, the zoom is fully optical with no cropping, and it can still output full 200 megapixel images. From a hardware perspective, this gives the Xiaomi 17 Ultra a clear advantage in mid to long telephoto shooting. You can see this advantage clearly in real photo samples. In the first group of shots, both the 15 Ultra and the 17 Ultra handle medium and close range scenes well, but once you look at the details and resolution, the 17 Ultra pulls ahead. In the second group, which features more distant subjects, the 15 Ultra's 3-guy zoom is still usable, but its resolution simply can't match what the 17 Ultra delivers. This difference is already obvious at a 90mm focal length in daylight. The night samples tell a similar story. Even when the subject, like the motorcycle in these shots, isn't very far away, the 17 Ultra still retains more fine detail. In the next set, the gap becomes even more obvious. Under low light conditions at a 90mm focal length, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra has an overwhelming advantage. And even when comparing at 75mm, the 17 Ultra still maintains higher resolution, something the 15 Ultra just can't reach. This shows that Xiaomi's continuous optical zoom isn't just a technical showcase. More importantly, it directly improves overall image quality. The smooth transition from 75mm to 100mm represents a comprehensive upgrade over the 15 Ultra. So the big question is this: in real-world shooting, can the 15 Ultra's 200 megapixel camera still be upgraded compared to the 17 Ultra's 200 megapixel setup? My answer is yes. Let's first look at shots taken below the super telephoto range. This night photo was taken handheld at 17.2x zoom, roughly equivalent to 400mm. Even without zooming in on the image, the difference between the two phones is easy to see. The same holds true for the next set. When shooting handheld, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra is noticeably more stable, and its detail rendering is clearly better. During the day, both phones feel more relaxed in comparison. In terms of pure detail, the 15 Ultra isn't dramatically behind. However, the 17 Ultra applies some sharpening in Leica Classic mode, which makes the overall image appear crisper. This leads to another key point: versatility. Whether sharpening is good or not depends on personal preference, but many users value clear, sharp details and feel that crisper edges simply look better. I also shot a set of indoor night photos at an equivalent 690mm focal length or 30 zoom, and these further support that idea. When viewing the images at a smaller size, the 17 Ultra is clearly superior. If you inspect the details closely, you can still tell that certain algorithms are at work, which is different from the older Leica Classic style that barely used any processing. This change is all about improving versatility. Overall, I see 2 major upgrades in super telephoto shooting. First, the phone is more stable at extreme focal lengths, making handheld shooting feel safer. Second, its super telephoto performance itself is stronger. Looking at other focal lengths, the 200mm samples show that the Leica Classic color and tonal style is very close to what we saw before. Detail performance lines up with what we observed in the super telephoto tests, but because Xiaomi now applies some processing in Leica Classic on the 17 Ultra, the images appear noticeably sharper. The 164mm samples are especially impressive, with detail presentation continuing in the same style. At 100mm, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's processing again produces sharper details and a stronger sense of resolution. In night shots at 100mm, the Xiaomi 15 Ultra shows less accurate white balance, while the 17 Ultra handles the scene much better. It's a solid improvement. When you look closely at the details across these samples, it becomes clear why the Xiaomi 17 Ultra feels more powerful to most users. The 200mm samples make this point even clearer. In challenging outdoor scenes with low light and high contrast, both the 15 Ultra and 17 Ultra perform very well. The real difference lies in detail, which is where the 17 Ultra takes a clear step forward. Finally, let's talk about the main camera, the new Lighthunter 1050L sensor. I won't go too deep into its dynamic range, since the previous 950L has already been thoroughly discussed online. What stands out immediately is that even in Leica Classic mode, 17 Ultra does an excellent job controlling highlights. If you look more carefully, you'll also notice that the overall dynamic range is higher, and edge detail in the photos is improved. The second set of samples makes this increased dynamic range even more obvious, and once again, the 17 Ultra delivers better detail overall. In the third set of samples, I think the 17 Ultra clearly comes out on top, especially when it comes to fine detail. In daytime shots, you can noticeably feel the edge vignetting in Leica Classic mode. Lately, the weather here has been mostly cloudy, but even so, the Leica Classic style still comes through in the photos, and the difference in detail isn't huge. That said, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's images look more pleasing overall. For instance, in these two sets taken during real shooting, Leica Classic appears brighter on the 17 Ultra. Compared to earlier tuning, each focal length now seems more focused on reproducing natural colors, which is something I clearly noticed while comparing shots. Also, a quick side note, if you enjoy shooting live photos, the phone offers 3 preset modes, and I find them extremely practical. If that's your thing, you should definitely give them a try. So, based on all these real-world comparisons, the image quality upgrade on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra is quite obvious, but improved imaging is only part of the story. Since it uses a periscope telephoto lens to replace the dual telephoto setup on the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, the overall lens module is actually smaller. Whether you look at the body thickness, including the camera bump, or the size of the camera deck itself, the 17 Ultra is more compact. The camera deck also sits slightly higher, and combined with a marginally larger body, this allows more internal space to be allocated to the battery compared to the 15 Ultra. As a result, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra packs a 6800 mAh battery. Paired with super-pixel technology and the 5th generation Snapdragon 8 Ultra platform, the battery life is still very impressive. In my 3-day test across 3 usage scenarios, fully charged, powered off, and shared usage, the battery performance is shown in the image. I do think there's still some room for optimization when it comes to gaming. Even so, after a 4-hour heavy load test, the phone still had 47.26% battery remaining. Overall, I'd define the battery life as strong, so there's really no need to worry in daily use. The phone supports 90-watt wired fast charging, reaching 100% in 54 minutes, which is fairly average. With such a large battery, charging speeds aren't going to be lightning fast. It also supports 50-watt wireless fast charging, which is a nice bonus. For a flagship camera phone, another crucial aspect and one of the core experiences I've been testing is thermal performance. During a 70-minute Genshin Impact test, the average frame rate in the final 40 minutes of the virtual city section was 60.1 FPS. Power consumption was 4.12 watts, with a rendering resolution of 883p. The highest temperature recorded on the front was 42.1 degrees Celsius, while the back peaked at 42.2 degrees Celsius. For a game like Genshin Impact, the Snapdragon 8 Elite handles it with ease. In a separate 40-minute StarCraft test, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra averaged 59.2 FPS. Rendering resolution wasn't an issue either, Judging by the screenshots, the 993p resolution is perfectly acceptable. Power consumption reached 6.13 watts, with the highest front temperature at 46.3 degrees Celsius and the back at 46.7 degrees Celsius. Based on these real-world tests, heavy gaming is not a problem at all. The phone handles it quite comfortably. As I've said before, manufacturers clearly put serious thought into heat management on top-tier flagship devices. The front display should feel familiar to many of you. The 6.9-inch screen is a large panel that Xiaomi has been emphasizing this year, and it's the same size used on the Xiaomi 17 Pro Max. Compared to the black borders on the previous 15 Ultra, this is a definite improvement that goes beyond just pixel count. That's why I've been saying that, together with continuous optical zoom, this phone really shows Xiaomi's innovation strength. The Xiaomi 17 Ultra is a perfect example of that, and I won't go deeper into the pixel discussion here. Turning to the back, I've already talked about the lens module design, but there's another topic that often gets criticized despite being completely normal: optical image stabilization. This is frequently misunderstood. Because the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's continuous optical zoom uses a larger telephoto lens structure, it's naturally more prone to movement. If you shake the phone, you may hear what people call a clapper sound, but if you shake it a few more times, the sound becomes much quieter. That's because Xiaomi detects continuous movement and activates power to stabilize and protect the entire lens assembly. I really hope viewers who've watched my video won't be misled by this issue. Compared to the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, the front bezel design is definitely an upgrade, though the overall hand feel of the 15 Ultra is still slightly better. I won't go over the changes in HyperOS 3.0 again. The Xiaomi 17 Pro Max is actually my daily driver, and after long-term use, I've noticed that frame drops and stuttering have been significantly reduced, now reaching the level of mainstream operating systems. That said, it still needs time to fully change user perception. Recently, HyperOS 3 has added quite a few new features, including one-line photo editing with Xiaomi. Xiaomi itself has become much more capable overall. As for the system frame rate performance, I've been emphasizing, this is with high frame rate enabled in ultra mode. In the past, short video apps required manual activation of high frame rate, but now it's almost always on, which deserves praise. During a system stability test while browsing Weibo, even with the phone temperature hovering around 47 degrees Celsius, it completed the entire test in a straight line with no frame drops. System stability is clearly not an issue. And yes, you're seeing this correctly. iPhone mirroring control on Xiaomi phones, also known as iPhone Magic Desktop. If you own both an iPhone and a Xiaomi device, your iPhone can mirror and control your Xiaomi phone through the Xiaomi Connect service. This really highlights Xiaomi's friendly and open approach toward iPhone users, and honestly, it's pretty impressive. When it comes to detailed specs, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra's water resistance has been further upgraded, earning IP66, IP68, and IP69 triple certifications. As for the rest of the details, everything you'd expect from a flagship is here, so I won't go into them one by one. To wrap things up, my evaluation of the Xiaomi 17 Ultra is the same as what I said at the beginning. This is a phone that brings together Xiaomi's most innovative technologies, from the previously revealed super pixel tech to the new 200-megapixel continuous optical zoom periscope telephoto lens and the ultra-high dynamic range Light Hunter 11050L sensor. It introduces a lot of fresh ideas to the smartphone industry. Continuous optical zoom genuinely solves the long-standing weakness of mid to long telephoto performance in flagship camera phones, and real-world testing shows just how big the improvement is. The 200-megapixel periscope telephoto lens also delivers better overall performance, especially when it comes to stability at high magnification. In my view, the versatility of the images has improved as well. Performance testing confirms solid thermal control and well-balanced performance scheduling. Based on real system stability tests, there's no need to worry about frame drops, even under heavy load. Battery life is strong, HyperOS 3 brings clear improvements, and compatibility with the Apple ecosystem is surprisingly good, almost like using an in-house ecosystem product. As the first Ultra flagship of this new cycle, it's bound to attract a lot of attention. So are you satisfied with its overall performance? All right, that's it for this video. If you've made it this far, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.